folks, and welcome to the NTT INDYCAR Series Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham.
Welcome to our first Ontario Honda Dealers Indy at Markham. Drivers, start your engines!
When everyone is happy, we'll get green. We have green. It's a wonderful start from Louis Foster. McLaughlin up and on the inside of Christian Lundgaard already, but Lundgaard holds position in second. It's all pretty clean through turn 6.
Looks like the green and white car. Cal Collette has a flat left rear. He was swirling all over the place as they try to go single file through turn 7.
Mick Schumacher trying to hang around the outside, 3 wide here through turn 7. That's not going to work, Townsend. It's so slippery offline. But now we're coming up to Sketchville, turn 10. That's where all the problems were in practice. But just look at how that tire barrier sticks out. So easy to catch a right rear there, but right now Foster picking up where he left off in qualifying.
Perfect start for the pole sitter. Louis Foster leads Christian Lundgaard by a second as we start lap 2 here on the new course at Markham.
Cal Collette already on pit lane to repair that flat tire. We go on board thanks to the McLaren Racing Club. Christian Lundgaard now down the long straightaway. Top left, you can see the tire change. They'll get rid of their black tires, but it looks like there's suspension damage for Cal Collette, the rookie. More tough times.
First time through that hairpin. Everybody cleanly through. That's not what we've seen in the junior categories. That's why these guys are the pros.
McLaughlin on that hard tire, harrying the back of Christian Lundgaard. Looks like he's got good pace in that hard early on. Mick Schumacher's made a place up on his teammate Graham Rahal. He's 9th, Rahal 10th. The driver on the move in the early part of this race, though, guys, we're only a lap and a half in. Carl Kirkwood's made up 6 places.
I mean, not shocked. Not shocked. I mean, we call him the king of the streets, even if that's not entirely fair to Alex Palou this season. But that's because 4 of his 5 wins in the IndyCar Series have come on the streets. And let's take a look at Kyle Kirkwood here on the start. The Sam's Club on board giving us these pictures. So tight, 3 wide into that. That was part of that 3 wide battle into turn 7 we were talking about.
From on board with Pato Awards.
I don't know how Pato kept it out of the wall here. He had to use Kirkwood as a buffer and kind of shoulder him over. Otherwise, it would have been damage to the right front on the concrete wall for Pato. Man, Foster just checking out already. And you know, for Christian Lundgaard, frankly, I think he punched way above McLaren's weight this weekend to qualify second. Just big struggles for the McLaren team on setup. And maybe now we're seeing some of that vulnerability exposed as Foster puts a 1.6 second gap on Lundgaard in the early phase.
Rosenquist was so close to the back of O'Ward going into turn 5 there. I thought they may have had contact, front wing to rear tire, but you're going to see that. And we're hearing that it's not just the tire, the toe link on the number 4, Kyle Collette, also damaged. So the team going to work to try to get the car repaired and get it back on track.
And that's absolutely galling for Kyle Collette, along with Louis Foster, one of the drivers who surprised in the practice sessions, being absolutely on it from the outset. Just had this natural affinity with this brand new racetrack, but crashed in second practice. The damage done to his car, the rebuild on that, then the fuel issue in qualifying. And now the tolling. It's be a weekend to forget for Kyle Collette, who said in the interview yesterday he doesn't know how many more chances he's going to get to impress. His future in the series is uncertain, having impressed so many people this year. What a great jump on his rivals when the green came out. Never under pressure. McLaughlin very nearly making his way through to second, but Lundgaard hanging it out around the outside, maintaining that P2 place.
Yeah, McLaughlin did a great job to get that launch, but then credit to Lundgaard for just absolutely hauling it in the brake zone there, and was able to keep that position. Again, the soft tires on the 7 of Lundgaard going to give him some grip advantage once they got to the corner.
Of Foster doing a very tidy job out front.
And he just has all weekend, right since the very first practice. This guy's been absolutely on it.
You can see from the helicopter shot there of the start where the contact came from Kyle Collette. He shot to the outside and straight into Felix Rosenquist. I don't think he had any idea there was a car there. And that's what did the left rear toe link, and probably what caused the puncture on Rosenquist, causing him to pit on lap 5.
That's a great point. That contact could have been the cause of that slow leak, but yeah, that was big contact there, side to side.
Lundgaard's starting to cut the gap back to Louis Foster. Foster's last lap was about 4/10 off what his rivals are doing behind him, as we see the 2-second gap become 1.5 seconds.
I mean, Foster did a 16.0 and now a 16.7. Meanwhile, McLaughlin a 16.3 on those hard compound tires. We're only 11 laps in. So will there be a crossover point where the soft tires really start to fall back?
Let's do a little bit of lift in the 6, a little bit of lift, give us a little bit more. Let's go fuel target minus 12, fuel target minus 12. Did you say minus 12? Minus 12? Copy, minus 12.
Louis Foster just trying to get confirmation from the strategist who asked him to give just a little bit more lift at the end of this back straightaway, trying to save just a little bit of fuel.
And that could explain that gap coming down to Lundgaard a little bit. If he's had to do a bit more lift to hit a fuel number, basically you're just at the end of the straight, you're going to lift off the throttle a bit early, have the brake a little bit later as we take a replay of Power getting a pass on here on Ferrucci.
Moments ago, courtesy of TWG on board with Will Power, and then he gets past his former teammate Joseph Newgarden. Newgarden has jumped into the pits after that pass as well. So Power putting on the move, showing it is possible here in Markham when you've got a bit of an overrun as he had. And yet the game plan for Palou seems to be as it is every weekend, which is just sit there, bide your time, save your fuel, look after your tires, and when everyone ahead of you pits, then you put the laps
Mick
in.
Schumacher into the wall heavy. Turn 4.
And that is a crying shame for the driver who was up in 8th place. It had been such a great weekend for the rookie, but that is race over. Right front suspension absolutely totaled. Here's a replay of Schumacher. He was catching Malukas, looked like he caught the inside wall and ended up in the outside wall. Terrible luck for the German. We have green, we're back to racing ways, and Louis Foster now leads from Scott McLaughlin. Marcus Ericsson up into the top 3, Dennis Hauger in 4th, then Scott Dixon 5th. David Malukas is 6th, and Alex Palou with the pit stops and retirements around him, now up to 7th.
It's just so Palou, isn't it? Slowly chipping away.
Oh, he's having a look at Malukas on the restart, locks up, but makes a tidy move.
Never mind, slowly chipping away at it. He's going for it now. Look at him trying to get the power down, trying to keep Malukas behind him into the hairpin here. He's going to have to go defensive.
Very conservative for the field on the brake pedal there. Everybody concerned about locking up. Hauger's wide, and Malukas trying to show a nose.
We got through the first one, and everyone thought, okay, we got this on the initial start. Now on the restart, everybody's getting a little jumpy.
I don't think we got this as they come barreling down to 6. Watch for some bold lunges.
Malukas up the inside of Hauger. Rossi wants a piece of that as well. Has a look up the inside of the rookie.
Side by side. Oh, he just got a little bit of oversteer there. Did he clip the wall with the left rear? Rossi looking on the inside of 7. Tough to get it done there, but he's going for it. Side by side.
Really tough start. Restart.
Every time Hauger gets pushed offline, he's getting more dirt on his tires, and it goes from bad to worse. The rookie is in emergency mode, just trying to survive.
O'Ward will try to go wide and around the outside of the hairpin. Contact between Hauger and Rasmussen.
And O'Ward now hit as well. Oh, it's a traffic jam down there. VK's in on it, trying to get around. Kevin Simpson, I think, went wide. But let's take a look at how this all started. Pato O'Ward on the outside there of Hauger. Hauger gets into Rasmussen and O'Ward, causes the checkup. See Kip and Simpson way out wide. Look, Siegel's in the mix in there.
There's a good 6 cars making their way through. On board with O'Ward.
And when things don't go perfect here, it's so tight that you're basically out of steering to do much about it. That's why everybody has to crawl around that corner offline. O'Ward, top of the wall with the right rear.
That was a great move from O'Ward and allowed his teammate Lundgaard to go through on Malukas as well.
How did O'Ward get so quickly back into the mix after being nowhere for the hairpin?
Malukas stops 7 places down from the restart. Chooses now to come in, take fuel and tires.
Man, I told you, man, I got nothing. Copy that. Everybody's fighting the same thing right now, David.
Frustration then for Malukas.
He's been fighting with his brake issues. He said this weekend it's been a problem all season. That's what he's talking about and why he's so frustrated.
As the tires start to wear here, the drivers will be working inside the cockpit.
Now Siegel is proving to be something of a cork in the bottle for the drivers behind, but those drivers behind are yet to stop. Power hasn't stopped, but Rasmussen has. O'Ward has. Siegel himself has stopped. He's actually the leader of the drivers who's already made a pit stop. So Siegel having a great day so far. P8 as we get a replay here, and that is Power lifting Alexander Rossi in the ECR.
Rossi doing a good job right now, running up in 7th, despite getting, he's massive rear locking from Will Power on the way in, then gets into the back of the 20 of Rossi. Like I said, Rossi started down in 14.
On the harder black tire, what's going to happen when Will Power goes to the soft for the first time this race?
We are hearing that Felix Rosenqvist is out of the race, and you can see him there. Kevin, what do you know about our Indy 500 winner?
Well, it's already been a struggle, and the balance was way off with the contact early. Fuel pressure issue. Car is back in the garage. Day appears to be done for Rosenqvist.
So many places that he's now down in 18th, but Palou is ahead of Malukas and behind Ferrucci of those who have made one stop.
And guys, this is your top 3. That lead for Louis Foster has really come down, and the driver that's been hounding has been Ericsson, but now we see McLaughlin pit from P2. That's going to unleash Ericsson some clean air. And Georgia, you're down there for McLaughlin.
That's where Foster should come out too. And there is Marcus Ericsson, and that is Armstrong and Stingray Rob and Renus VK battling. Oh, and Armstrong has spun it. Can he get it going? Full course yellow. Looks to have ruined their day. Armstrong tried to get going again and, well, didn't make a very good fist of it, which led to everybody else having to slow dramatically behind. Renus VK looked like he stalled. Then Scott McLaughlin looked like he stalled.
Yeah,
so
watch the car on McLaughlin right there. All of a sudden was making the turn and then had to jam up. We'll ride on board and let's just listen to what he's dealing with.
We see VK stops ahead. And then just stalls it. It's a very tall first gear, so now he's still rolling. You can restart it with the hybrid system, but there's a bit of a process to it. Ferrucci gets stopped behind him, and all these cars start going around, so I'm not sure how they're going to officiate that one. We are under caution.
He never technically stopped rolling, so to me, that's a pass under a local yellow.
The car's dead. The engine's off.
He did stop. He did stop.
right now it's Siegel, Grosjean and Stingray Rob who are on that alternate strategy, and Ericsson immediately looking racy behind Grosjean.
Ericsson on much fresher tires, having pit on lap 30. Grosjean pit on lap 16, but he is on the hards, Ericsson. You can see him struggling at the bottom.
Oh, McLaughlin almost into the wall, and Power gets past as Rahal gets through Rob.
That's going to open the door for Palou on McLaughlin, drag racing down the straight to turn 5.
I think Will Power might have a move as well. He does. Power looks to the inside of Stingray Rob and decides to back off. Everybody knows tires are cold.
Contact between McLaughlin and Power.
McLaughlin once again almost stopped on the hairpin. Dixon struggling to get off. He's going slow down at the bottom of your screen.
O'Ward gets past him. Kirkwood does too, and that has allowed Siegel and Grosjean to disappear off into the distance.
And this is what they need, guys. They need to put down fast laps, try to pull away as much of a gap as they can from the likes of Ericsson and Power and Palou, who have already done that stop.
Well, Scott McLaughlin was able to retake his place as we had some radio.
Okay, the two cars in front of us that chose to stay out have had 12 green laps, and I think these guys are just gambling for more yellows to try and do it on one to the end. First car on our strategy, McLaughlin, who
big
is
contact.
3 spots behind us. Yellow.
That is Rasmussen and Dixon. Yellows breed yellows, and Markham breeds chaos.
So Dixon was tipped into a spin there by Hauger. Rasmussen nowhere to go.
I don't know if Dixon was tipped in so much with intent. I don't think Hauger had anywhere to go. Dixon just kind of tried to pinch it off there as he was going around the outside. Either way, Rasmussen the one that came out the worst for it. Let's take a look at this. Will Power on Scott McLaughlin.
So McLaughlin's on cold tires, almost goes into the wall. Power with a lovely move up the inside, but then as we've seen, guys, a guy gets offline gets dirt on those tires. McLaughlin struggles to get it slowed down into the hairpin, hits power, and then the chaos ensues around him.
His power goes into anti-stall. You heard him have to grab the clutch, rev it up, and drop the clutch to get going. I mean, he's on the lock side. There's nothing he can do with the steering wheel. The only thing he can do there is hit the brakes harder.
We're in for quite the 12 corners, and possibly another yellow as Power has a look at Ray Hall on the restart.
And if you're Marcus Ericsson, you're really just biding your time. You don't need to force the issue here. These two cars in front are going to have to get to pit lane soon.
Foster on Rossi. Pato on Rossi. Foster now looking at Palou.
Palou had to go defensive after a botched attempt on Will Power in front of him.
Oh, Ward makes the move stick on Alexander Rossi, and Kirkwood follows him through. Rossi going the way of everyone else who's got onto that dirty part of the track as Louis Foster goes to look around the outside of Alex Palou. Romain Grosjean takes the lead.
Lundgaard was all locked up in that white and papaya McLaren. I thought he was going to bowling ball half the field.
Newgarden, it looks like having some issues down there as well at the hairpin.
Malukas has a look up the inside of Rinus VeeKay, and that's another position for him.
Yeah, damage on that wing of VeeKay. He's going to be kind of walking wounded here. Whether or not it's enough to go back to pit lane for a change of the front wing, I don't know. It looks like he's going to try to stick with it.
Alex Palou has lost 5 places since the restart. There's that damaged front ring of Rinus VeeKay. Up the front, Romain Grosjean leads. Nolan Siegel is second. Marcus Ericsson third. Louis Foster up 4 places from the restart, sits fourth. And Foster makes the move on Ericsson.
There you go.
Oh, no! He's in the wall. He overcooked it on the pass. And the perfect weekend, the perfect run for the pole sitter is done. Dashed against the wall.
As we get a replay of Louis Foster diving to the inside here.
Trying to look. No tires locked yet.
Oh, he clipped the inside
wall. You can see that black tire mark.
Ugh.
I mean, he had it done. He had the inside line. He was alongside, had the car wound up, was in control in terms of locked tires.
Half an inch too far to the left. Hits the inside wall. We're in the restart zone. Grosjean leads from Ericsson, Power, and Kirkwood. The Andretti trio on the optimum ace strategy behind him, and Ericsson looking racy and trying to get past immediately as they go through turn 1 and 2 up to 3, where Louis Foster clattered the wall just a few laps ago.
So Grosjean had a lot of understeer to take the green flag, has settled in nicely, starting to open up a tiny gap on Ericsson, but this is where things get crazy, coming to the hairpin.
Everybody looking a little more sensible on this run, perhaps a little cooler and calmer heads prevailing. Palou up the inside of Rossi. Rossi tries to floor it to get back past him, and McLaughlin takes advantage of that. We've got a spin at the back, and it's Stingray Rob. But having gone off onto the dirty part of the track, will Palou start to fall again? Can Malukas have a look? Or will Palou manage to get himself back past Scott McLaughlin?
It's so tricky down at that hairpin because you could see that Palou was as cranked on the wheel as he could be. Couldn't turn it any tighter, but Rossi holding the outside sort of forces almost the other car into anti-stall.
Big lock up for Rossi. He's got a flat front right.
That contact has punctured the right front. He's holding up everybody. Malukas.
Another tough day for Ed Carpenter Racing.
Got to be careful here into turn 10. The Java House on board, you can see how flat that tire was.
VeeKay trying to get past, has got past. Through goes Hauger.
Big save.
Will hug the right-hand wall and come into pit lane, Alexander Rossi. So Grosjean leads Ericsson by half a second, then Power and Kirkwood, Lundgaard, No Ward, McLaughlin, Palou, Malukas and VeeKay is the top 10.
So here you go, side by side in the hairpin. There's the contact. It just barely has the front wing scratched.
I'm surprised that cut the tire down.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked. We've seen much bigger hits result in no damage to the tire.
Will that lead to a drive-through penalty for Alex Palou for avoidable contact? On strategy, it'll be a tall order if it were to stay green, but boy, if I was a betting man, I'd bet on more caution to finish this thing out.
37 laps, 36 laps it'll be when they go past the line one more time. Can Grosjean make it on one stop? On a day like today, I wouldn't put it past him. Kevin down on pit lane for what might be Romain Grosjean's last stop.
I don't think he can make it the rest of the way without a caution. But this is a good gamble. He does have the sicker set of softs, and it was actually Grosjean. They wanted to pit at the last caution. He said, no, let's stay out and lead some laps.
Oh, and
there's a caution.
Kirkwood's in the wall. It's a big one for Kyle Kirkwood. Both front wheels are done. His day is done. What on earth happened to Kyle Kirkwood?
And that's exactly what Romain Grosjean wanted to see. He's done his pit stop. He's got the caution now.
When you thought it couldn't get any more crazy, this happens. Oh, and it's exactly the same as Foster. Same corner, same impact. Takes the inside wall and pings off into the outside.
Yeah, you can see the left front flopping about. That is from the initial impact. And for Kyle Kirkwood, a rare mistake on street circuits where he has been so strong these last couple seasons. Listen here, left front.
Then it's O'Ward, Ferrucci. That's the top 5. And Stingray Rob in the mix as well. That's the wild thing about today. Not so long ago, Stingray Rob was sideways at the hairpin, facing the wrong way. He's now 6th.
I mean, you got all sorts of stories like that up and down pit lane.
And that's Grosjean making the move for 6th place.
And that's a big pass. That's a big pass for Grosjean to stay tight to those lead groups as McLaughlin pops out further back on the McLaren of Christian Lundgaard.
Oh, and Newgarden gets spun.
You saw it coming a mile away. I hate to say it.
And that is Nolan Siegel in the midst of it.
We come back to green. It'll be full push to the end.
And 2 of the guys in the top 5 have never won an IndyCar race, full stop. McLaughlin immediately on it, straight onto the back wing of Romain Grosjean. We sit on board with him now through 3, gets very, very close.
The back end of the DCR machine of Grosjean just struggling. He does a good look at him trying to get the power down out of 4.
Excellent exit from McLaughlin. Does he dare have a look up the inside? Will they play it all nice? Everybody slowing it right down, but we are too wide a little further back. We avoid contact, do we, for the first time on a restart today? We do. Well done, everyone.
Like you're speaking to the children.
Palou's coming under threat from Dennis Hauger. Has to defend on the inside. Hauger looking to run it around the outside. Hauger looks very quick on the restart.
Yeah, had to be a little bit further alongside the champ in order to pull that one off, but he's racy, and that's what you love to see. You said it earlier as we see Power now trying to make a move on Kip and Simpson.
They bang wheels. Power goes through.
Nicely done. And that's what he has to do. He's got to just really stand up in the seat, be forceful, be aggressive.
Nolan Siegel given a penalty for knocking Joseph Newgarden around on the restart. Interesting that he got it for spinning Newgarden around, but there was no penalty for Palou for cutting the tyre of Alexander Rossi and essentially ruining his day in a similar fashion. We'll let that one go for now. Ericsson leads by 1.2 seconds from Grosjean. McLaughlin is 3rd. Malukas is 4th. Then VK Palou. Hauger all over the back of the 4-time champion. Power is up to 8th. Simpson is 9th and O'Ward is 10th.
Ericsson's going to do everything he can to try to open up a gap before he makes that last stop, but with 20-something seconds lost on pit lane, that would still put Ericsson all the way at the back of the cars on the lead lap.
Yeah, he might come out racing with Nolan Siegel, who's about 10 seconds off the second last car on the lead lap. So it's going to be a tough effort for him. You see him pulling away here, much lighter race car with almost no fuel left on board. He's got the advantage. Grosjean's able to maintain that pace right now. His Power still trying to recover.
And Palou has got 2nd place from McLaughlin.
I bet that's because McLaughlin's having to lift at the end of the straight.
That is crazy better fuel mileage for the Hondas if that's the case. Let's take a look back to see how this happened.
Oh, last minute. Throws it up the inside. Lovely.
I want to see the onboard as well. Let's listen. I want to hear a bit earlier to see if he was having to lift off the throttle.
Over in turn 6 off the back straightaway, and all of a sudden Romain Grosjean looks in his mirror and thinks to himself, oh boy.
Look who's coming.
McLaughlin and Malukas separated by less than a second right now. As we pull back there, you see the blue car, the red car. That is McLaughlin in the blue, Malukas in the red.
Hauger loses another spot. He's now 10th. O'Ward moves up to 9th.
Look at Ericsson. Ericsson's pressing. Ericsson looking
to the inside of VK.
Oh, perfect.
Nicely done.
avoids the contact, and Simpson's going to nip through as well.
We've barely seen any flawlessly executed passes in the hairpin, but
Get the next one now.
tip of the hat to Ericsson for getting that one done.
Top 10 right now, chasing Kiffin Simpson.
Officially under a second. The gap is down into the 9/10 range, and let's talk push to pass, guys, because this could be the defining factor. Alex Palou with 42 seconds, Romain Grosjean more than double. Wow.
But does Romain Grosjean have the fuel remaining to use the button? Palou 2 laps better on fuel at this point. That'll factor along with those hard tires as the track temp continues to heat up. Sun's starting to pop out just a little bit here in Markham.
Romain Grosjean will be told 14 to go. He will look in his mirrors and see that yellow and red livery.
Big mistake.
Big mistake.
Great job to hang on to it, though. We've not seen many of those where you didn't end up either in the wall or the runoff, but that has given a crucial amount of breathing room for Romain Grosjean.
Well, it shows just how hard Palou's having to push to try and catch him.
I think Palou was just looking to kind of square off the exit of this corner. He tried fading out a little bit wider. Palou starting to struggle on tires.
Here comes Ericsson! Up the inside, contact with his teammate, but makes it through. Lights up the rears, off the hairpin. Both of them will have lost time in the battle to Palou. But when you talk of the fastest lap of the race, when you talk of the fastest lap of the race, James, 1:14.2, that's one of the fastest laps, full stop, through qualifying, practice. That's the kind of pace that Ericsson's running right now, qualifying pace.
And I think Will Power is saying, hey, I was going to go get Palou, and Marcus Ericsson saying, no, I'm going to get Palou. They go side by side, Ericsson in deep, and Power just flat turns into his teammate.
Well, I mean, Ericsson, I'm not going to say was entirely in control of that car going on the brakes, but hey, end of the race, fighting for a podium spot. You got to do what you got to do. All I can say is these guys are so lucky that there was nobody behind them to capitalize on both of them running wide. That was a big hit.
That was bigger than it looked. Yeah, outside the car, Power's going to be furious.
But Power can't contend. He can't stay with Ericsson. That's the pace he's got as Ericsson now goes after Palou. All of this playing into both Palou and Grosjean's hand. It's given Palou some breathing room. It will give Grosjean some breathing room as well.
Oh yeah, Grosjean's loving this. He's saying to himself right now, come on Marcus, get up there with Alex Palou and start mixing it up. Give me a chance to breeze to my first win.
They were sparring partners in Formula One back in the day, and now he really needs Ericsson to catch up to the back of Palou and slow him down. But Townsend, I think you might be right. I think this might be the first time we've seen Palou not able to make those hard tires work as well as we've seen him in other situations where the soft seemed like it was preferred.
You guys were talking about the difficulties for the Chevy runners, difficulties for the Penske's in particular. Malukas and McLaughlin have now fallen behind Pato O'Ward, who's up to 5th, and Christian Lundgaard in the system McLaren, he's fought his way all the way up to 9th.
Well, remember, O'Ward pit on lap 60. That's 5 laps later than both Malukas and McLaughlin, so a big fuel advantage for the number 5. But look at how quickly that gap came down. Ericsson on an absolute charge. You get brave after you pull it off once, Townsend. Is he going to risk that level of contact in turn 5 again?
We're about to find out. I think Ericsson's saying to himself, I'm fast enough. If I can clear Palou soon, I might get Grosjean.
He caught that gap up in a lap. What could he do in 7?
Here it comes. Here comes the hairpin. What does he do?
Little twitch out of 4, shakes him up, makes the move early, makes the move clean, takes 2nd place away from Alex Palou, and Marcus Ericsson has just 1 place left to take the lead of the race.
And the crowd goes wild down in turn 5. They have the best
94, car behind has 42.
in the house, so that's great information there for Grosjean. He's got 94, or that was for Ericsson rather, 94 seconds of push to pass for Grosjean, down to 32 for Ericsson.
All of a sudden, Romain Grosjean is going to be thinking, I've got problems coming, as we see a replay again, brilliantly executed from Marcus Ericsson. And for Palou with that big championship lead, he knows there is no sense in defending too hard here.
Ericsson just in the zone right now. It's such a good feeling when you're hooked up with your race car to street course. You feel like you can do no wrong. You're navigating a jet fighter through the canyons here. And he's got the number 18 of Grosjean firmly in his sights. And we're set up for a dogfight with 6 laps to go.
You got to think Grosjean's driving to somewhat of a fuel number to make it to the end. He has not touched push to pass for the last 10 laps or so. Meanwhile, like you said, James, Ericsson can run full rich, full steam, full attack.
The gap is less than a second. 5.5 laps left to run.
5 laps at the start-finish line.
That's the conversation of Romain Grosjean with his team. You can hear the anxiety in Grosjean's voice. He knows he's...
Oh, but Lucas hits the wall.
Looks like he might have bent or broken the rear toe link. Here comes Palou now.
Well, Palou's just lost a place to Power.
Power on Palou.
2 Andretti Global cars back on the podium. I guess this is why we're not calling strategy, T-Bell.
Boy, epic fail from the booth, my friend.
And look at the gap up front. It's down to 0.3 of a second.
Less than half a second. There it is, your race leader. And Marcus Ericsson in P2. It feels like it might only be a matter of time. Is Grosjean a sitting duck?
The fact that he's not used any push to pass, even short bursts to try to keep that gap a little bit bigger, tells me that you're right. He's hitting this number. He can't afford to use it. This could be clean and easy almost for Ericsson.
Ericsson through 4.
This is his corner, but he doesn't have much chance, I think, this lap. Does he send it? No.
And he didn't use the button. Didn't use it at all.
Oh, he had a really good turn through the hairpin. Expect him to use the button on this run.
It's not lit up yet. Yes, it is. There you go. You see it burning, but no defense on the button from Grosjean.
Shaping him up, having a look. Goes late, goes to the inside. Ericsson goes to the lead. Listen to the crowd in Markham. They love it. What a drive from Marcus Ericsson. Romain Grosjean's wait for a win will go on. 4.5 laps to go, and Ericsson leads.
Absolute textbook perfect execution.
Oh, and that is Simpson.
Kept it running. Can he get it going again?
He's still stuck down there according to the track map.
I see movement. I think he's underway now. 4 laps to go for the Swedish driver.
Just in time.
Fresh off a contract renewal with Andretti Global. Signed to the team with a 3-year deal. The first 2 years struggled to find that pace that he had.
Manage your tools here, hit all your marks.
At
Just a couple laps to go.
Racing, as his wife Iris nervously latches on. But since Will Power joined this team, he's helped Marcus get the setup more in his direction, more to his liking.
And he has won the biggest race in the world, the Indy 500. But today, guys, I would say this is the best pure drive on pace, on racecraft that I've seen from Marcus Ericsson. He has been fantastic.
Look at that. In 1 lap, the gap he's pulled to Romain Grosjean at the same corner where he took the lead, 2.3 seconds.
Still a long ways to go. It'll be just over 6 miles at the line. And he's still hustling.
He's not giving
This guy's still in the zone, James. Like, there's 5 cars in front of him for the win.
You see the back end sliding out third turn 12 as he crosses the line. 3 to go now. But you're right, when you're in that zone, though, you don't want to change anything. You don't want to back off. You don't want to adjust any of your marks. Just hit your points, your brake point, your turning point, your on throttle point. The thing looks so sorted through turn 4. This track has really just come to him. You see the GO train giving the fans, the passengers on board a bit of a show.
Yeah, if you're a regular commuter and you just happen to be out on the Sunday on the train, you might think to yourself, what in the world is going on down there?
Hell of a view.
What a view. 3.5 seconds Ericsson's opened up to Grosjean in just 2 laps. Got to start to wonder if Will Power might get any shot on the Dale Coyne driver, but I think Grosjean might just have enough.
Grosjean and Power's pace pretty similar. Grosjean with a 2.5 second advantage over Will Power. Guys, even if Romain Grosjean comes home in 2nd place, what a drive from him. What a day it has been for the Dale Coyne Racing driver. Just a phenomenal performance.
You see Alex Palou there? Didn't exactly fall off the back of Will Power like we would have expected. I think Palou might have something to say about the final podium spot here before this is done.
Yeah, but you're right, Will. Phenomenal job from Grosjean. Team's been quick. Obviously, Hauger had a great qualifying effort. Frankly, Grosjean was very quick in qualifying. He was unfortunate to get caught out by a red flag 2 seconds before he was going to cross the line that would have transferred him to the next group. So the pace has been there, and he's shown it.
Something about coming to Canada for Dale Coyne Racing. This time last year on the streets of Toronto, Renus VK P2 for Dale Coyne Racing. Romain Grosjean staring at the potential of a return to the podium.
Guys, Pato O'Ward still in touch there in 5th. This is a weekend that they look completely lost, and they've just survived everything that's happened. He was hit in the hairpin at one point, but what a solid comeback for both the 5 and the 7 of Lundgaard.
The lesson, the takeaway that I'll have from Markham is don't count anybody out. 25 laps ago, we thought it was done for these guys. We thought they blew it on strategy by not taking a pit stop on that final yellow. They said to themselves, we're going to have to win on pace or advance on pace here. And for a driver to get that command, it's the best instruction. Just put your head down and don't worry about anything except going fast like your life depends on it. And Marcus Ericsson has achieved just that.
They needed green flag running to make this strategy work, and they got just that. But at the end of the day, it came down to the driver, the guy with the wheel in his hands, to put those lap times down and make it all come together. And kudos to Ericsson. A few corners left to take his first win with Andretti Global.
Ericsson came into this season saying, I need to be more aggressive. I need to put my career in my own hands, and boy, has he done that. He's led, believe it or not, the 3rd most laps of any driver this entire season. That is how good he has been, but the results ultimately haven't been there until today. He has risen to the top through chaos, and from the rubble he has created one of his finest victories, not just in IndyCar, but in his open wheel career. Possibly Marcus Ericsson's day of days. There is something about this guy on a new track when it throws the unexpected. Ericsson rises to the fore and to the top step of the podium. Ericsson wins on the streets of Markham.
Our winner today. Congratulations, my friend.
What a gap, 7 seconds. And we say tremendous congratulations to Romain Grosjean on the podium for Dale Coyne, and Will Power home in 3rd.